Let's be honest, buying a tablet in 2025 is like walking into an all-you-can-eat tech buffet. You've got dozens of models, shiny specs, and marketing buzzwords flying at you from every angle. But here's the catch. Not everyone wants to drop $800 on a tablet just to binge-watch Netflix or doodle in bed. So what if I told you that for under $400, you can actually get a device that handles everyday tasks, runs smooth, and doesn't feel like a compromise? In today's ranking, we'll break down the best tablets under $400, models that aren't just cheap, but actually good. We're talking real-world performance, display quality, battery life, and even some pro-level features that brands usually hide behind paywalls. No fluff, no overhype, just cold hard specs, tested usability, and a bit of tech-savvy humor along the way. Let's dive in.
At number 5, we've got the Lenovo Idea Tab Pro, a tablet that's clearly designed with students in mind but works just as well for everyday media and multitasking. The specs here are pretty impressive for this price range. It runs on the MediaTek Dimensity 8300 processor, which is a newer generation chip, delivering solid mid-range performance. Day-to-day tasks like browsing, reading, and streaming work smoothly. Plus, thanks to Wi-Fi 6E support, downloads and cloud sync happen fast, assuming your router can keep up. The display is where Lenovo tries to flex a bit. You're getting a 12.7-inch 3K LCD panel with a resolution of 2944 by 1840 pixels. It's sharp, bright enough for indoor use, and color accuracy is decent for casual tasks. But it's not OLED, so don't expect perfect contrast, especially in dark scenes. For memory, you've got 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, which should be enough for most apps and offline files. And if you're the type to take notes or sketch, the Lenovo Tab Pen Plus is included, along with the folio case. That's a nice bonus. Most brands charge extra for accessories. Gamers might like the fact that this tablet supports 90 FPS with a 360 Hz touch sampling rate, which makes the screen more responsive for fast-paced action. But to be clear, this isn't a hardcore gaming tablet. It'll handle PUBG Mobile at smooth settings, but don't expect console-level graphics. Battery life is decent, around 11 hours of video playback, plus 45-watt fast charging, so topping up doesn't take forever. Now for the downsides. The camera setup is pretty basic, not really suited for photography beyond video calls. And while the AI features like Google Gemini and Circle to Search sound cool, they're still evolving. Sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they feel like gimmicks. Overall, the Idea Tab Pro is a solid pick for students and casual users who want a large screen, good performance, and included accessories, without blowing the budget.
Coming in at number 4 is the Xiaomi Pad 6, a tablet that punches above its weight when it comes to performance and display, especially for this price bracket. Inside, it's powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 870, which is actually a flagship chip from a couple of years ago. That means you're getting way more power than you'd expect for under $400. Whether it's gaming, video editing on the go, or running multiple apps side by side, the Pad 6 handles it smoothly without major hiccups. The display is another standout. It's an 11-inch IPS LCD with a resolution of 2880 by 1800, and here's the kicker. It runs at 144 Hz. So scrolling through apps, browsing, or just flipping through menus feels buttery smooth. Color reproduction is sharp and accurate, though keep in mind it's still LCD, not OLED. Blacks won't be pitch dark, but for most users, the difference is barely noticeable. You're getting 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage in the base version, which is solid for this segment. And if you need more storage, unfortunately, no micro SD slot. That's one of the downsides. The speakers are quad stereo with Dolby Atmos, and they're surprisingly loud with good separation. For watching videos, you won't really need headphones unless you're in a noisy place. As for battery life, expect around 10 to 12 hours of typical use, plus 33-watt fast charging, which is quick, but not the fastest in this category. On the downside, there's no headphone jack and no fingerprint scanner. Also, while MIUI for Pad has improved, Xiaomi's software still comes with some quirks, occasional app scaling issues, and you might have to tweak settings to get things running just right. Still, if you're after raw performance and a high refresh rate display, the Xiaomi Pad 6 delivers more than most tablets in this price range. It's a great pick for gamers, binge watchers, or anyone who just wants a super smooth tablet experience without breaking the bank. At number 3, we've got a tablet from a brand everyone knows, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite 2024 refresh. And yeah, it's technically not brand new tech, but for under $400, this one's all about balance, especially if you're looking for a tablet that's light, reliable, and gets the basics right. The Exynos 1280 processor inside isn't going to win any speed awards. It's mid-tier, and you'll feel that if you push it too hard with heavy games or complex video editing. But for media, reading, note-taking, and standard apps, it works fine. Samsung keeps things smooth thanks to good software optimization, so you won't notice too much lag in day-to-day tasks. The display is a 10.4-inch TFT LCD with a resolution of 2000 by 1200. It's not OLED and it's not super bright outdoors, but for indoor use, watching YouTube, browsing, or even sketching, it gets the job done with decent color and sharpness. You get 4 GB of RAM and 64 or 128 GB of storage, plus a microSD slot, which is something a lot of other tablets in this price range skip. So if you like to download tons of videos or keep your music offline, that's a win. One of the biggest selling points? The S Pen is included in the box, and unlike cheaper styluses, this one feels smooth, has no noticeable lag, and doesn't need charging. For students or anyone who likes handwriting notes, it's a real advantage. Battery life is solid. Expect around 12 hours of mixed use, and there's 15-watt fast charging. Not the fastest charger on the market, but enough to get you back to work before your next lecture or meeting. Now for the trade-offs. The speakers are stereo, but not the loudest, especially compared to tablets with quad setups. Also, the TFT screen doesn't have the same punchy contrast as AMOLED, which Samsung usually reserves for pricier models. And if you're after high refresh rates, sorry, this one's locked at 60 Hz. But here's the thing. If you're looking for a reliable everyday tablet with an included pen, expandable storage, and long battery life, the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite 2024 is still one of the safest bets out there in this budget.
This tablet isn't here to play catch-up. It's here to compete. The OnePlus Pad lands in second place because it offers specs you'd normally expect from a much pricier device. Let's start with the hardware. It's built slim, 6.54 millimeters thin, and at just 552 grams, you'll barely notice it in your backpack. OnePlus went with a CNC machined aluminum body, so it feels premium, not plasticky. It's the kind of device you can actually carry all day without getting annoyed. Now, the screen is different. OnePlus ditched the typical 16:9 or 4:3 setups and went with a 7:5 ratio. That means the 11.61-inch display feels taller and more natural for reading, split-screen work, or scrolling documents. Resolution? 2800 by 2000 pixels, sharp enough to make text crisp and photos detailed. Plus, the 144 Hz refresh rate makes this one of the smoothest Android tablets you'll swipe this year. Under the hood, it's powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 9000, a processor that doesn't mess around. It's not some cut-down mid-range chip. It's flagship-tier silicon from the recent Android phone generation. Paired with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, it'll handle gaming, creative apps, and heavy multitasking without slowing down. Sound is another strong point. Quad speakers with Dolby Atmos provide spatial audio that's actually immersive, not just marketing fluff. Battery? You're looking at around 12 hours of screen time, and if you run out, 67-watt SuperVOOC charging gets you back to 100% in just about an hour. That's miles faster than most tablets in this price bracket. But no device is perfect. The OnePlus Pad doesn't have a headphone jack, and while it supports a stylus, you'll need to buy the OnePlus Stylus separately. Also, while the Android 13.1 interface runs smoothly, not every app is perfectly optimized for tablet screens yet. Some still behave like they're on a big phone. Bottom line, if you care about display quality, speed, and design, and don't mind grabbing a pen separately, the OnePlus Pad is easily one of the most powerful tablets you'll find under $400.
Sometimes you can't avoid it. The best tool for the job is the obvious one. The iPad 11-inch 2024 takes the top spot in this ranking for one simple reason. It does almost everything right. Inside, you're getting the A16 Bionic chip. It's not just fast, it's efficient. Whether you're running creative apps, editing videos, gaming, or just multitasking between a dozen apps, this processor handles it like it's no big deal. And because it's Apple Silicon, you know the performance won't slow down after a year or two. The display? 11-inch Liquid Retina, sharp and bright with True Tone adjusting to your environment.
Whether you're watching movies, reading PDFs, or sketching ideas, it looks clean and natural. And at this level, color accuracy actually matters. Storage starts at 128 gigabytes, which for once is actually a reasonable starting point. If you need more, you can go up to 512 gigabytes, but the base version already fits within the $400 to $500 range depending on sales and region. Connectivity is also modern. Wi-Fi 6, USB-C charging, and support for the new Apple Pencil USB-C version. The iPad becomes a real creative tool if you add the stylus, but keep in mind it's sold separately. Cameras, you've got a 12-megapixel front camera with center stage and another 12-megapixel shooter on the back. For a tablet, that's more than enough for video calls, document scans, or the occasional photo when your phone's not around. Battery life is solid, around 10 hours of regular use, whether you're streaming, browsing, or working on projects. And Touch ID is built into the top button. It's fast, reliable, and simple. No face scanning, just tap and go. Of course, there are trade-offs. If you're an Android user, jumping into the Apple ecosystem means adapting to new apps and accessories. And while the Magic Keyboard Folio is cool, it's expensive. So if you want the full laptop replacement setup, you'll need to invest extra. But here's the deal. For raw power, display quality, long-term software support, and accessory options, the iPad 11-inch 2024 is still the safest and smartest choice for most people in this category. It's not about hype, it's about reliability. And sometimes that's exactly what you need.
Tablets under $400 in 2025? It's a competitive space, but as you've just seen, not all models are created equal. Some focus on raw performance, others prioritize display quality, battery life, or extra features like stylus support. The real takeaway is you don't have to spend flagship money to get a solid tablet experience. Whether you're a student, a creative, or just someone looking for a good device to stream, read, or get work done, there's an option here that makes sense. So, which one would you pick? Let us know in the comments. We're always down to talk tech. If you found this ranking useful, consider dropping a like, hitting subscribe, and checking out the links below for the latest deals. Thanks for watching Choice Top, and we'll see you in the next one.